Alrighty, welcome back everyone. It is LaughNgamez here. I'm back, and it is time for another Starcraft 2 1 versus 1 Probot cast. You guys have been spamming the more bots in the comments, and so that means here we are with more bots. And today I found a replay that was actually from the highest rated bot on the Starcraft 2 bot ladder, which, believe it or not, is apparently a thing. So, we have got the bot WhoNeedsArmy, which I've never cast before. And then the bot in the bottom left, 7, which I believe I have cast before. Making it a good old Zerg versus Zerg. So, two Zerg bots playing with the same tools. We're going to see how the authors decided to go about making such a Zerg bot. There's a lot of variation, of course, in these bots, and then of course the methods that are used to design them. I think one of the big things at the minute is the fact that there's being more of those bots which use machine learning versus some of the more traditional bots in the sense that are just programmed. Now we take a look here. We have got very similar builds from these two agents. 7 went for the 14 hatch, whereas WhoNeedsArmy went for the couple of extra drones before that. Nothing really too notable there, like a normal ZVZ. Unless there's an early pool, there isn't really too much to hammer on about. And so, ladies and gentlemen, make sure to go ahead and slap that like button. We have got 20 drones mining at the base of WhoNeedsArmy, so let's go for 20 likes on this video. Then, of course, leave a comment down below for the other bot, the YouTube bot, and say more bots if you want to see more bots. And yeah, we'll just watch as this one develops here. I found it interesting that yeah, WhoNeedsArmy had 20 drones on that base, waited to transfer them. I'm curious, since doing the individual drone micro does actually improve the efficiency of the mining, but I think it was by like 5%, someone said, which isn't insignificant. I'm curious if that actually allows you to have more than the 16 drones on a base per chance, to be more efficient, because we know that it drastically falls off in StarCraft 2 if you mine with more than, say, 18 drones, 18 workers on a base, I believe. That's where it really falls off after. But I'm wondering if using that sort of bot drone micro trick, if that helps reduce that, or who knows, maybe it's even more of a fall off as you add more drones to a base as far as losing efficiency goes. Anyway, now we take a look here. We've got a couple queens on the way for 7. Gonna be going up to a total of 4, starting to spread the creep towards the north of the base, interestingly enough. I'm not gonna say that creep spread is bad, but the direction is interesting there. I'm sure those queens are just going to keep on spewing it out, though, till there's just creep everywhere. As far as WhoNeedsArmy goes, the bot's kind of contradicting itself. It's indeed making an army. So far, 5 roaches on the way with a 3rd hatch. 7 getting that 3rd hatch up as well, but just relying on queens and going up to a slightly higher drone count. Fortunately, we don't have that that Game Heart UI, so I can't pull up the income graph. I was curious about that. But yeah, we'll just keep our eye on this and see where it's going to go. Lots and lots of drones and an extra hatch on the way for 7, so going to be playing that mass Zerg expand style, which is strong, because of course when you've got machine-like macro, the Zerg is a very good race for just ballooning up and up. But then WhoNeedsArmy is playing it a little bit more conservatively, it looks like. And that is one of the things that I think is really interesting as far as programming bots. It's whether you're going to program a bot that just plays defensively enough that it's usually fine against most things, or whether you're going to program a bot that tries to scout and cut corners. Of course, one of those things is a lot more complicated than the other. As far as these two bots goes, though, it appears the way that 7's playing, it looks like that it would be vulnerable to an attack, you'd think. Like, 8 queens is good, but only 8 queens? Maybe not so much, but then again, who knows, maybe there's other factors at play. Whereas, yeah, WhoNeedsArmy is playing it a little bit more defensively, but then also does have less queens. So, like, what's better, 5 roaches or 9 queens, or 6 extra queens, I guess. So, as we watch, 7 is just going to keep doing that mass queen style. Is 7 one of the mass queen bots? I'm not sure, to be honest with you. We see gas is going up, so that gas has got to be used for something. Whether it's just upgrading queens, we've yet to see. But, yeah, both these Zerg bots just macroing on up. Gonna fast forward just a little bit. We take a look here. We've got Burrow and a Rotorn on the way for 7, so there will be a transition. And that kind of explains the low gas if it is just gonna go into roaches, because roaches don't actually require that much gas, being a 3-to-1 ratio for minerals to gas. Burrow on the way is also interesting. Lair on the way. Is there a lair for WhoNeedsArmy? I feel like WhoNeedsArmy is like quite a long bot name, so I almost want to like abbreviate it, but then it's like WNA, like I'm sure that stands for something else. But that acronym's already been used, but at the same time it's kind of a mouthful in itself. So we take a look here. +1 attack on the way for the roaches of 7. So as far as the build go, I think 7 is going to be looking a little bit better here, but then lots of roaches on the way. It's just going to be a classic ZVZ, these two bots button heads here. Much like a normal Zerg versus Zerg. Now let's take a look here. We have got a couple more hatcheries on the way for 7, so expanding, but then WhoNeedsArmy does also have 5 bases, or is going up to 5 bases, so both these bots macroing up. We see a bit of a roach skirmish starting here in the middle, as these roaches are now engaging each other, pulling the injured roaches back. Now, of course, 7 is going to be using that burrow trick. 7 using that burrow trick. Is there any detection here for WhoNeedsArmy? The answer is a solid no. So those roaches actually will regenerate for 7. It looks like WhoNeedsArmy has actually won the first fight, though, being at the higher supply. I'm not sure how much help those burrowed roaches are actually amounting to, as they do just seem to be getting popped off when they decide to unburrow. Yeah, now we take a look as these roaches are engaging each other, but yeah, WhoNeedsArmy really pushing forward. 7 in quite a bit of trouble. Where's that mass count of queens? There's 21 queens sitting in the main base. You gotta get those to the front lines there, 7. This burrowed roach stuff is quite interesting, but yeah, WhoNeedsArmy going for a very, very solid push. I'm curious as if it's just a set point when those roaches unburrow for 7, and it is. They actually do just unburrow at 100 HP, but here are the queens, and the bajillion transfuses they have could very well make the difference here. There's also +1 for 7, so there might be a little bit of economic damage getting done by WhoNeedsArmy, but the scary push isn't so scary all of a sudden. We see WhoNeedsArmy making a lot more roaches. Still not going for detection, by the way. Neither of these bots have gone for detection. I mean, it is a ZVZ, so that's kind of understandable, at least until there's lurkers. But, yeah, we see WhoNeedsArmy does actually get a base of 7. It's almost replaced instantly. There is a lot more bases going on up. Drones being replaced, a Hydrogen on the way, and a Hive on the way. So, 7's bot is still macroing up pretty darn strong. WhoNeedsArmy rallying in more and more roaches. Just charging them out, but the Queen's transfuse is almost endless here for 7. It has used a lot of the transfuse, but there's a little bit more going on as every second passes. And yeah, that bot is doing a good job using the transfuse, being very strong. This is one of those things that we see that is actually a lot better for bots than it is for humans. Like, a human, you can maybe have like 10 queens and then the transfuses kind of become redundant. When you're an AI that has unlimited APM, you can just transfuse for days. And so there really is no downfall to having a large mass of queens. And I don't know what you guys would define as a large mass of queens, but I would call this a lot of queen. Now we see 7 counter pushing on WhoNeedsArmy. The bot seems to be very, very bottlenecked by gas, and that's actually quite unfortunate, as these geysers aren't fully saturated, but then they're bots, so do they need to be fully saturated? Apparently 7's bot thinks yes. But a definitive lack of gas by WhoNeedsArmy here, and this could actually be potentially problematic for the blue Zerg, as yeah, 7's just pushing on in here. Queens and roaches, now Hydra's in the mix even. And while 7 lost the base, it looks like the favor is going to be repaid to WhoNeedsArmy, and WhoNeedsArmy is just not rallying out that many units. Or not enough units. Like, it's making 23 drones. It's got the minerals, sure, but boy oh boy, does it ever need the gas. And it needs the gas good. We'll see if 7's gonna just push this one further. Yeah, like, it's one of those things in which 2 bots doing the same thing. One of them's gonna win, and that's the one with the better behavior, and 7's behavior seems to be better as far as unit control goes, keeping its units nice and clumped up. The Queen tech really paying off here. This does make me wonder for WhoNeedsArmy, if there's gonna be a way to come back, but I'm already having my doubts here, guys. I'm already having my doubts, and now we see these queens pushing on in, the roaches attacking endlessly. Like, yeah, I think WhoNeedsArmy is done here. Like, I think 7's an advanced enough bot that it's not gonna have any major derpage. And, that raises the question, how is WhoNeedsArmy so high on the ladder? Because unless I misread this, WhoNeedsArmy is the highest rated bot on the ladder, so I'm wondering if this strategy works a lot better versus some different bots, or if it's got different strategies. Or maybe it's better in some matchups. I am curious about that. So yeah, it looks like the main of WhoNeedsArmy is going to go down, losing pretty much everything. It's making queens now, but it's like, there's creep on your base that does not belong to you. That means something very wrong. And looks like there is a queen that actually wandered up, and a drone too, attacking an extractor. It wants that extractor, give it to me. But oh, that queen just got swarmed by her sisters. And yeah, while WhoNeedsArmy still has a decent amount of bases and is going to keep producing units, although it's actually very supply blocked now, and not making any overlords, which is interesting. Yeah. Well done by 7 bot. 7, a very solid bot. And, yeah. That is one of the things. I did notice that WhoNeedsArmy had a lot of its wins in the earlier game, I think, on the ladder from looking through its replays, like a big percentage of them. So, we can't really judge WhoNeedsArmy too much by this. And then, of course, that's part of the problem with casting these bot games, in which it's like, okay, I'm not going to cast the bots that are very good in the early game, because the YouTube video's got to be more than 3 minutes long or something like that. And so I tend to look for the longer games, which isn't exactly where these bots are tested the most. And so, yeah, that very well could be the case here. So don't give WhoNeedsArmy too much grief. We'll definitely inspect that a little bit more at some point. Maybe I'll do like a bot cheeses video at some point and do a compilation of shorter games, that sort of thing. WhoNeedsArmy is just going to die with as much money in its hand as possible, but 7 blowing it out of the water with its solid 80 drone economy, 26,000 minerals and rising, as it has yet to actually find this base, and it's not really looking. How long is this going to go on for before it finds this base, as WhoNeedsArmy is just mining this out? The YouTube video may be lagging a little bit right now, as this is happening. How many APMs going on there? Only 2,500. Which is lower for bots, but yeah. I mean, 7 isn't really scouting out all over the place. It's just gotta, it just seems to be like, yeah, take the enemy's main, build a hatchery there. That's the plan. And then nothing else. Not making anything, just mining. Just mining. How long does this go on for? Anyway, while we wait to see if one of these bots eventually kills the other, probably 7 killing WNA, make sure to hit that like button, ladies and gentlemen. Subscribe, hit that bell icon so you get notified whenever you join the game. Join the Discord. Consider becoming a YouTube member, because that's a great way to support these casts. What else? What did I say? Like, subscribe, comment. That's the other one. Yeah, believe it or not, that actually helped. WhoNeedsArmy continuously injecting in this hatchery. Is this gonna go on until 7 eventually runs out of bases or something? This is actually odd. You'd think that a bot like 7 would have conditions for, oh, nothing's happening, do something, but at the same time, no. It's like, yeah, mine out that base, mine out this base. Mining out this base. Is this gonna be the one that makes it do something? Oh, did something move? Oh, okay, there we go. Drone's moving. Has the base been found? Yes, the base has been found. That's so odd. Is that just Seven's, like, anti-turtle strat? Like, that's actually kind of... I mean, maybe it's a ZVZ, so yeah, it doesn't check for, like, floating buildings in the corner, obviously, but the fact that it's like, yeah, whatever. Just go about my thing. Anyway, thanks so much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. I'll see you next time.